Great Monday morning, everyone. Uh, great Monday morning. I know that some people that I personally have seen, that I personally have spoken to, uh, we talk about things that we go through. We talk about these things. And sometimes we feel like nobody is listening. Sometimes we feel like we want to be heard. We just want somebody to listen to us, somebody just to feel what we're going through, somebody just to tell us that everything gonna be all right. I get it. I get it. That's all we want. And sometimes we go through our trials and tribulations and we go through these things, and it's like, in one sense, we feel alone, and then another sense, we feel crowded. Because the truth of the matter is that we all go through something. We all go through something at different times, and our pains cannot be measured against one another or compared against one another. When people begin to measure your pain against their pain, or your pain against someone else's pain, that pushes us away. Because it dawns on us then, and it confirms in our mind then, that nobody is really listening. Nobody really understands. Nobody is really trying to help us through the trials and tribulations that we're going through. And that hurts. That hurts. But I'm going to tell you, as someone who suffered from depression, suffered from generational trauma, suffered from post-prison syndrome or post-incarceration syndrome, as someone who been physically held captive, abused, misused, etc., it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling when you're going through these things and you're reaching for someone to help, but you're so surrounded by darkness and pitch blackness that you're reaching, but it's like you're trying to find your way in the darkness. You're trying to find your way in a room where there's no walls, or there seems to be no walls. There seems to be no sound of footsteps. There seems to be no one else breathing. It seems to be that no one can hear you for miles and miles. It's like when you're lost in the pitch blackness of your own mind, and we're just scared, heart beating, palms sweaty, hands shaking, and you trying to find someone. You just want someone just to touch, just to know that someone is around you that you can reach. Someone can reach you. But the reality is that life takes us through challenges that many of us in our lifetimes will not understand. As they say nowadays, life is going to keep lifing. Life is definitely going to keep lifing. And it is our duty as human beings, it is our duties to one another to be a friend to mankind as we would wish man should be friendly to us. It is our duty to preserve our life. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. But how could I preserve my life when I don't understand the value of my life? How could I preserve my life when all of my life has been shrouded with trauma? How could I even appreciate life if the only thing that I know about life is trauma, pain, hurt, disappointment, depression? How could I appreciate life if every time I look outside of myself, I see the same pain, the same trauma, the same hurt, the same demons that exist inside of myself? I see them outside of me. So what do? How do we deal with this issue that we're going through every single day of our lives? How do we deal with this issue? The pain, the hurt, the trauma, the feeling of being lost, the feeling of being unheard, the feeling of being alone. How do we deal with it? I don't have all the answers. I don't. I'm going through it right now. I'm going through something right now. And I'm sure somebody out there listening to me right now that's going through something. I'm here to tell you that you are not alone. There's so many people just like you that's going through something, don't know who to talk to, don't know what to say if you do find somebody to talk to, scared that if you show your vulnerability, someone is going to take it for a weakness and may then take your kindness for weakness. So our guards stay up. Our insecurities are at an all-time high. Our trust issues are at an all-time high. Who can I trust when all of my life I have been disappointed? Who can I trust when all of my life I've seen distrustful people? I've been around distrustful people. Even myself, I've been distrustful to myself. So who can I trust? These are the questions that we ask ourselves when we're going through some of the things that we go through on an everyday basis. And I agree. Some people just don't understand. And it's not meant for everybody to understand what we're going through. It's not meant for it. If everybody understood what we was going through, the solutions would be right there in the hands of somebody else to deal with what's going on inside of me. It's not meant for everybody to understand what we're going through. But I can tell you with certainty, with strength and with pride, that whatever you going through, you gonna get through it. Whatever you are going through, you are gonna get through it. Believe me, trust me. I don't know the exacts of your traumas, the exacts of your pain, the exacts of your depression. I don't know the exacts of what you are going through. But what I do know is that there is nothing in this world that you can't get through. There's no hell, there's no high water, there's no mountain. There is nothing that you cannot be successful at in this life. Yeah, we going through it. I'm going through it right now. Believe me, I woke up this morning thinking about my brother, looked at his picture like I do every morning, looked at his picture, and I said, man, what happened, man? Man, bro, what happened? Tears rolling down my face. What happened, man? So I'm going through it too. Believe me, I'm going through it. I had to separate my brother's ashes the other day. 2-3 weeks after his funeral, I have his ashes that I'm putting in urns and small keepsakes. And it was like he was right there, because he is right here. But it was like he was right there, and every memory that I had of our childhood, every single memory existed right there in my brother's ashes that was falling right in my hand like crumbs off a table, right in my hands, the crumbs of his ashes. And in each particle of his ashes, there was a memory. So imagine having a body that's 170 pounds and is reduced down to some ashes that weigh 80 pounds or whatever. 80 pounds worth of memories. That's what I was sorting out the other day. 80 pounds worth of memories as I separated my brother's ashes and put them into urns. And I can admit that I cried the entire time. I cried the entire time. Not so sad that that my brother's physical body has been disintegrated to ashes. Not so much that my brother is no longer physically here. I cried because I thought to myself, like I do every single day and every single day since the death of my brother. And I said, man, what happened, bro? What happened? Kind of wish that I could have done something. Kind of wish that I could have been there to prevent something. Kind of think that had I said an extra word, had I shared an extra thought, an extra inspiration, an extra motivation or something, could I have prevented the trauma that I now face, the hurt and pain that I now face. I kind of think those things sometimes. I know we all do. We all like to put a little bit of blame on ourselves when we lose someone, especially if we lose someone tragically. We like to think that maybe had I did this, this would not have happened. Had I did that, this would have not have happened. Had I just stayed with my brother, my sister, or my family member a little bit longer that day, maybe the circumstances would not have come about. Had I just shared a decent word, had I just embraced the person a little bit longer, maybe the situation would have turned out a little bit different. We all go through these thought processes. We all go through these mindsets. We all go through these challenges of how we process trauma. We don't process trauma the same way, but we have something in common. We process it in a way that kind of puts us right there in the middle of the trauma, because we think our hurt and our pain leads us to believe that if only you had done this, you may have changed the circumstances or altered the nature of what had happened. Believe me, I'm going through it to this very day. But I have to admit that everything in life happens for a reason. The passing of our loved ones, whether tragically or otherwise, it hurt. It hurt. The hurt is never going to go away. The trauma of it is never going to go away. I don't care what someone does. There is all of the talk of closure. Closure is a whole different topic from the pain never going away, the trauma never going away. But what calms the trauma is the memories. See, it's like anyone who has had broken a bone or something, carpal tunnel syndrome, arthritis, back problems, that type of thing, and you have been living with it for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but you take medication just to keep it calm, just so you can make it through the day. So the trauma of losing someone, the trauma of missing someone, that pain, the depression that sometimes attaches to that, that trauma and that pain is never going to go away. However, the memories is the medication that calms the trauma. The memories is the medication that calms the pain, the hurt, the depression. The memories is what treat those emotions, the memories. And that's why we always say, hang on to the memories. Because I know some people going through some stuff this morning. I know. I'm right there with you. We going through it together. But don't abandon your faith. If you have just the mustard seed of faith, don't abandon it. Cultivate it. Don't abandon your faith. Cultivate it. If you have just the mustard seed, if you have just a mustard seed of faith, don't abandon it because you're going through something. No matter what you're going through, I didn't say that what you're going through doesn't matter. I didn't say that what you're going through doesn't hurt. I didn't say that what you're going through doesn't depress you. I didn't say that what you're going through is not hard and hurtful. I said that what you're going through, you're going to get through. But you have to have faith. You have to have faith in something greater than you. You have to believe and have faith that what you're going through, you have to go through, because you got to go through something to get to something. You have to believe that. It's Monday morning. And I woke up, as I do always, and I looked at the picture of my brother who was just murdered, brutally murdered last month. I look at his picture. I think about how we grew up, the challenges that we face, all the things that we've been through, all the things that we made it through. I think about how much time he did in prison. None of that defeated him. None of that defeated him. He was victorious over his upbringing. He was victorious over his first prison stint, his second prison stint. He was victorious when he came out of prison the last time. He done great things with his life. He went to places that he only dreamed of going to, that he only talked about going to. He visited states, many states around the United States, because he just wanted to travel. He just wanted to see people and meet new people. And he did that. So everything happens for a reason. Sure, we can be sad. We can cry. And there's nothing wrong with crying. Those tears are the releasing of emotions. Some of those tears are years and years of emotions. Some of those tears are expressions of love. Some of those tears that we shed are expressions of the memories that will live on in us. So there's nothing wrong with crying. Nothing wrong with crying. Sometimes shedding those tears make us stronger. Sometimes shedding those tears make us more proud. Sometimes shedding those tears make us reflect on who we are, how far we've come. Sometimes shedding those tears make us realize that we are alive. Sometimes shedding those tears make us learn how to appreciate the life that we have and the time that we've shared with whoever we share our time with. I know that somebody this morning is going through something. Somebody this morning is going through something. Somebody needs some help. Somebody needs some help. But I want people to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Don't think that you are alone because maybe people have not come to your aid with open arms. Don't think that you are not alone because people have not exposed to you what they are going through. Don't think that you are alone, because it's always someone going through something as well at the same time as you. It's life. It's life. And We have to learn to be there for one another and understanding of one another and sensitive to one another's needs, because at the end of the day, we go through things. We go through things and we look around. Sometimes we look around when we're going through something because we're ashamed that we're going through something. Sometimes we go through things and we look around because we don't want people to see us going through anything. We don't want people to see us going through anything because it makes us feel weak. Sometimes we feel weak because we're going through something. You know, my brother once told me some years ago when he got out of prison. Here's a clear example of what I mean by sometimes we are ashamed when we're going through something, because it tends to make us feel weakened. My brother told me one day, I said, bro, you got to let people know you need stuff, man. People gonna look out for you, man, because they know you've been through prison and you getting out, man. You got to let people know. He said, man, I don't want nobody to know what I'm going through. He said, I don't want nobody to see me like that. I said, brother, we live in a different world. I think that we live in a world now to where people showing their vulnerabilities has almost become the norm. Not norm in a bad way, but normal in a good way, because now we're able to deal with certain issues that we have going on. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Because when you can show your vulnerabilities, all you're doing is showing your humanity, your humility. So never be ashamed to show your vulnerabilities, especially when you're on a path or you're looking for healing. When you go to the hospital because you broke your leg, you broke your finger, you stumped your toe, and it hurt real bad, you don't go to the hospital and tell the doctor, oh, this don't hurt. Because if that's the case, you wouldn't have went to the doctor in the first place. Say, this don't hurt. I'm all right. No, you went to the doctor because you were suffering a pain. And you wanted that pain to be treated. So when we have our vulnerabilities, our vulnerable moments, don't be ashamed. We all go through it. We all have our vulnerable moments, our vulnerabilities. The only way that these things are going to be treated is if we acknowledge that they do exist and we seek help to treat them. That help can come in the form of just talking to your mother, father, any loved one, any friend, counselor if necessary. But we can't ignore the traumas that we go through. You can't ignore it. I'm here this morning because I really want people to know that it's all right to be going through something. It's all right to be going through something, y'all. It's all right. Believe me. If you're going through something, that means that you are alive. If you're going through something, that means that there's something that you have to get to. See, it's like if you was going through a tunnel. First of all, the only way or reason why you going through that tunnel is because it was meant you had to go through that tunnel to get to somewhere else on the other side. Or you're crossing the street because you're trying to get to the other side. You have, if your house is across the street, if the store is down the street, if the church, the mosque, the temple is down the street, if your girlfriend, your loved one, your boyfriend, your whoever is down the street, and you trying to get there, you have to go through the necessary travels, the paths, the roads to get there. Sometimes we don't want to have to go through all of that stuff to get to where we got to go. But it's necessary. Because a soldier never knows his strength without a foe. A foe is the challenge that you have to face. So a soldier never knows his strength without a challenge. And thought is exercise. It's about the development of strength. So we exercise our thoughts by developing our strength. We have to go through something to get to something. I know somebody going through some stuff this morning. I know you thought you was alone, but you not. I know you thought there wasn't nobody listening to you, but we are. I know you thought nobody was feeling you, but we do. I know you thought that nobody really cared, but we do. I know you thought that it was a sign of weakness for you to just shed a tear on this morning. But it's not. I know you thought that hiding your vulnerabilities, keeping your walls up, will shield you from the pain, the hurt, the trauma, but it don't. I would have to honestly admit that every day is something for us to cry about. Whether it's crying out in appreciation or crying out because we're going through something. Every day is something for us to shed a tear about. But those tears shouldn't make you weak. They should make you stronger. It's an expression. It's a release of the love that you have for whatever it is. Pain that you're dealing with. Get it out your system. We're trying to get pain out our system, and we're trying to get the expressions of love out our system so people can see that we just love them. We miss them. Can't wait to be with them again. So we shed tears. So again, I know it's somebody this morning that's going through something. If you're going through something and you need to talk to someone, if you're going through something and you need to talk to someone, I ask that you please find someone that you're close to, friend, family, associate. Sometimes strangers are the best people to talk to. Sometimes strangers are the best people to talk to. This is not for children. Children should not talk to strangers. I'm talking about us adults. And in many cases, some of us adults, it's not good to talk to strangers. But when we are When we are developed, experienced enough to know, the dangers of talking to some strangers, we're able to avoid those situations. But in some cases, strangers are the best people to talk to, because those strangers are like a one-time situation. Say, for instance, you're on a bus and you're going through something and you just want to talk to somebody. You could talk to that person sitting beside you, or you're at the bus stop, or you're in the store, or wherever. And sometimes talking to those strangers, you find out that you found a friend. No, somebody out here going through something this morning. Somebody out here going through something this morning, and somebody needs somebody just to talk to listen to them, lean on them, vent to. I have to tell you that we are out here. There's so many people just like me that's willing just to listen. I shut my mouth and I just listen. Fun fact, I didn't know that every time I move my hand like this, that half my face go. Watch this. Wow. Anywho, I'm right here. You can contact me on any of my social media channels. It's scrolling along the bottom of the ticker. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Demetrius Knucklesteel 711, or my podcast at the Great Minds Project 5.0. I provide words of inspiration, uplifting thoughts. I do social and criminal justice reform work every single day of my life, because I want to see our communities rebuilt better. And when I speak of our communities, I'm talking about our people, because the people is what defines the community. See, it's like our pains and our traumas, our hurts, our depressions, etc. Those things do not describe or define us. We define them, because we have to take agency over who we are. So I'm not going to hold y'all up any longer. I just wanted to come on here because I wanted to, first of all, send my heartfelt condolences out to anyone, any family who has lost someone, not just last night, but who has lost someone, who's thinking about that someone, who's missing that someone. I want to send my heartfelt condolences out to him. I feel your pain. I want to send a word of inspiration to those people who are going through something, who feeling lost and feeling depressed, down, alone. Listen. Just know that I'm talking to you. I'm talking to the network of people around you who are able to help you. And sometimes that little girl, that little boy, they don't know how to talk to the grown up. Because most of the grown-ups act just like them. So they don't know how to talk to them. They don't know if they really gonna understand, because they act just like them. We have to stand up and we have to stand out, because our community is dependent upon us. If you know, you know. It's time to take our place in the affairs of man. It's time for us to heal our own. Learn how to do self-healing, or learn how to look outside of yourself for certain ingredients, certain components of healing modalities that you could use to help strengthen you, bring you back to fold, bring you back to strength, bring you back to pride, bring you back to being proud, bring you back to who you know you want to be. Sometimes you have to tap in to sources outside of yourself to find the answer. Not that it don't exist in you, but sometimes you have to see how someone else utilize their God-given talents to heal themselves. And it all starts with the thought, because the thought is the cause of it all. We have to share those walls. We have to know that we matter. We have to recognize our true value. Nothing in life is more valuable than love, because love is the savior of the world. That's why in music, in television, in entertainment, in so many different walks of life, areas of life, the devil is trying to indoctrinate us with hate, separation. They know if they can separate us, they can teach us to hate one another. But if they cannot separate us, we will learn how to love instead of hate. But love is the only savior of the world. We'll let y'all go with this here. I'm gonna say peace and love to everyone within the sound of my voice. And for those who cannot hear the sound of my voice, I'm asking that you please pass along my message. Pass along my message this morning, because somebody needs to be inspired. Somebody is going through the fires of depression. Somebody is going through the fires of hurt and pain. Somebody is going through the fires of trauma. Somebody is going through the fires of feeling alone. Somebody is going through the fires of feeling unheard. Somebody is going through the fires of looking for a shoulder to lean on, but it's not there. Somebody is going through the fires of reaching for help, but ain't no hand to help them. Somebody is going through something this morning. So I'm asking that you please pass along this message. Share this video to them. Whatever you have to do to uplift them. Shed light on their darkened state. Be the light. Walk in the light. If anybody listening, if anybody within the sound of my voice can say that you've been saved by your faith, I don't care what you got faith in, long as it's right. If you've been saved by your faith and you use your faith to shield you, walk with you, and talk with you, in other words, you're activated, and you have that light, and you know that you have that light, share it with someone. You never know, you might save another life. But don't hold it for yourself, because the people that have the light but doesn't share the light, that light will soon become dim. That light will soon become dim. So again, I'm going to say peace and love to those within the sound of my voice. And for those who cannot hear the sound of my voice, I say pass along the message, because someone needs to be inspired.